What is up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Live Locks presented by Scores and Odds. If you haven't checked it out already, just making bad life choices, going over to scoresandodds.com where you got picks from me, Meansy, Dino, all the greats. Plus, you get access to this nice little prop shopping tool where you can see exactly what we have project for each individual prop, plus where the best line's at. And most importantly, you get access to Grant's Action Lounge. What is Grant's Action Lounge? Where it's when I'm throwing in all my picks so you can get the odds before the lines move, which they always do move. I am joined today by someone not working at Scores and Odds, someone who knows basketball way too darn well, has helped make me a bunch of money, a futures genius, I want to say. I'm going to go with genius. Zach Bryce, a.k.a. Zachonomics on Twitter. How you doing there?
I'll take genius for anything, whether it's picking basketball or anything you want to call me, Grant. So I think you're the mad genius here. But, Grant, when I see you, and I haven't seen you in person in a while, but when I see you with the beard, like the messier the beard is and the more disheveled you look, the more money I know you've been making, especially here during NFL and NBA season. So I know for me, the worse I look, the more money I'm making because I can't take myself away from the screens and checking the odds and making my bets.
Oh yeah, no, I mean it's this time of year. I think like half of the money I cleared last year was between beginning of football and end of football because you got that basketball overlap, and it was just beautiful. I mean, this year's no difference. I have like 14% ROI so far since football started. Just unreal good. And yeah, it's the most wonderful time of year. I know that I pretty much become a hermit. But it's worth it almost every single time. And I mean, just look at today. I have 40 different bets, something like that, between football and basketball. It's just basketball is great because you can bet points, assists, rebounds, blocks, steals, turnovers, points, rebounds, assists, points, rebounds. You can bet everything. Like baseball, I can bet pitcher props, and that's pretty much where I make my money. It's hits, earned runs, strikeouts, outs. You have 4 bets, and realistically, most of those are pretty sharp. It's entirely different when it comes to basketball. You can make so much money.
Yeah, we both had pretty good years last year, I know. And I know I've been tailing some of your picks. I like a few today. There's a couple that I don't. We can discuss, go back and forth. I know me and you always have a couple we butt heads on, and maybe we can iron some things out here. And I definitely see some that I'm going to tail you on. So I'm gonna bring some double props to the table today since we're early in the day and I haven't had a chance to check out every kind of prop. I want to make sure at least I went through all the doubles in the league and took out my favorites along with some other stuff.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my spreadsheet, but it looks like the odds aren't showing up, so I'm going to have to manually import them. But we'll just go ahead and get right into this in a second here.
I have I've got your odds if you need them.
I mean, I have them on a different screen. It's just okay. I did something with the. I'm pretty good with Excel, but it sometimes gets me. I got it in now. So we're going to start off DeAndre Hunter. Okay. This one's an easy one, under 15.5 points at Superbook. You can only get 100 on it, but it's a terrible line. Don't even need to go into that one. And then Terrence Ross, 2.5 assists, -118 on the under at Sports Illustrated, -110 over at MGM. They won't let me get anything down there.
Yeah, you and me both. I like that one, Grant. I agree with you on the Ross. He just grabs the ball and shoots it. I feel like every time he touches it, he's a gunner. I think he's still coming off the bench, unless I'm mistaken. Am I mistaken on that?
He got a start the other day. I think it was because of an injury. I think he might be coming off the bench, but I mean, it doesn't really matter.
He's starting, but yeah, he's got 1 assist, 2 assists, 1 assist, 0 assists, 2 assists, and it's 2.5. So he's 5 for 5 on the under so far. I mean, I love that one. I got that one in for sure.
Yeah. Drunk Denver dudes mentioning in chat there was a Suggs injury. I forgot who it was, but I knew it was someone. Right. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. He's not going, and there's so many guys that can facilitate. I know that Anthony's not in the lineup right now, but Paulo has been fantastic. There's Wagner, Scar. There's so many different guys, and he's just a catch and shoot. Like he wants to shoot the ball every single time, and just a bad overall line. Mason Plumlee under 7.5 points, -125. We know that Plumlee's not really going to shoot the ball much. Going to be dealing with some stuff on defense with Wendell Carter Jr. Probably going to get into foul trouble. It's an easy under. I got a lot of bets in this Philly game. Harris under 13.5 points, -113 at FanDuel.
I
Maxi
saw that
over.
one, Grant. If I'm going to stop you, that one, when I saw you put out that one, that shocked me, that number. I mean, Tobias Harris is a guy who's, we're used to, averaging 17, 18, 19 a game. I saw that 13.5. I can't bring myself to bet it. I'm so
I
afraid.
wouldn't at this point. It looks like Embiid's questionable. So
Oh, wow. Yeah.
that
Yeah. No, well, I know Tobias is at 12.5 on the year, and that's probably where that came from, but I just can't bring myself to put money on him under 13.5. The Banchero, I think you mentioned at 23.5. Did you get there yet? Or maybe not?
I had the under, and that was a mess up. I deleted it from
Okay.
the Discord. I bet the
Gotcha.
under, and I fudged up. I meant to bet the over, and I realized after I posted it in the Discord, I'm like, oh, that was bad. I meant to bet the over. I'm like, plus 100 on the over. Okay, sign me up. And then it was plus
Yeah.
100 on the under. And
I
yeah,
have at least one or two of those a day that I totally mess up. I mean, when you're making volume bets, it's going to happen.
yeah, I mean, and sometimes it works out well, sometimes it doesn't. But I remember I posted one video and I had the under, and I accidentally said over in the video, and some guy who is awful. He's terrible.
Right.
The bane of my existence for a while. Just kept saying, "You messed. What are you doing?" I'm like, first of all, my mess up won you money because I lost that one. I'm saying officially that I had the under, and I just messed up saying it. So if you took the video, you won money. If you didn't take the video, then that means that you just bet what I bet, and you would have lost anyways. But it was just.
Well, anyone who's watching this, I mean, I can tell them that like this morning already, I double bet two things. Like I bet it, and then I'm looking through the odds again, and I have so many bets that I'm not keeping track, and I bet it again, and I realize I have too much liability. Then I have to either roll with it or bet against it. So I bet against it. So I'm already down, several dollars in juice today, just betting against my double. I mean, look, it doesn't matter what you're doing, whether it's your job or you're just betting sports in volume, you're going to make mistakes. You just got to roll with it and don't let it get out of control. I know I see you keep track of all your bets. I keep track of all of mine. And, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, no, that's just what it is. It's what happens in our job.
Yep.
You're going to make mistakes because you have to be so on top of things. I mean, I get up at 7:00 in the morning and then bet until 5:00 in the afternoon. Sometimes
Yep.
I stop at 2, depending on my sanity and how much money I have on the line. But I mean, you're just going one after another. As soon as the lines get out there, you have to be quick. Like time is of the essence. So you're going to mess some things up. Yeah. But it looks like you have a bet in the Charlotte game or a few bets in the Charlotte game that we didn't go over. It looks like you have Oubre over rebounds, which I thought about, and Washington under assists, which I also thought about.
Yeah. So Oubre, he's playing 4 more minutes a game than he did last year. I mean, I think it's obvious with Bridges and LaMelo out. And those guys were grabbing a lot of rebounds. I mean, Bridges, I don't remember, but he was probably around 8 or 9 last year, and LaMelo was around 7-ish. So without those rebounds, someone's going to grab him. If Oubre is going to play more minutes, Oubre, when he was with Phoenix, used to be a guy that I would take for a double-double at 3 or 4 to 1 and hit it quite often. So I think it was 5.5 for Oubre today. Yeah, so I like him. I like him to get 6 or more tonight for sure. It's a good matchup against Orlando for him.
Yep. And then looks like I didn't have any bets in the Knicks game. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think I have any bets in the Knicks games, but it looks like you took Robinson over 6.5 boards, which seems like pretty solid overall bet.
So back to that PJ Washington, I checked. I did a quick deep dive on him. He's averaged under 2.5 assists for all 3 seasons he's been in the NBA. And, again, without LaMelo and Bridges, those are the guys who are going to put the ball in the hole. So going to be tough to get those Charlotte games like last year where they were scoring 130. PJ Washington, I don't know if he's going to hit over 3 assists. I'm going under 2.5. And with Robinson, he's 2 out of every 3 games, about 66% last year. He went over this number, and he averages for his career 7.5 boards. Even the year before, 2 years ago, technically now, he was well over 65% getting over this number. So I did like that today. I got it at minus 102 at Superbook. Not sure where it is now, but I would probably go all the way up to 115 on that.
Well, let's see. It's really simple. This prop shopping tool we have.
Yep.
Robinson. Minus 120 at FanDuel.
Ooh,
So that's
okay.
moved quite a bit.
So, definitely do some research before taking it minus 120. I do think he'll go over. Again, I think, but he could very easily get 7. He could also very easily get 6. So, maybe hold off on that one or just lower your bet on that one.
Yep. Then a few more bets I have. Maxey over 18.5 points. While Embiid being out hurts potentially being out. He's questionable. Hurts my Tobias under. Maxey's over now just becomes an absolute smash. Got minus 118 at 18.5 over at Sports Illustrated, which if you're in this state, you signed up for it, right, Zach?
Yeah, I'm on SI. I think they're in Michigan as well. For those of you who are in other states, they use the same lines as 888 Sport, who I don't even know if they're still active, but they used to be in New Jersey.
Yeah. Let's see if Maxey's moved. It's just straight up off the board right now, so we can skip those.
Okay, so the Philly stuff is off the board. Okay.
Yeah. So I also had Harden over 9.5 assists. I don't expect that to change too much. Minus 118, I'd still take that if it's anywhere between minus 118 and minus 125. Scotty Barnes over 3.5 assists, plus 120 at Superbook, plus 114 at Caesars, plus 120 over at MGM. I hit it a few times. Guy's averaging 4.2 assists per game. He said this in 3 out of the 4 games where he didn't get injured. Games where he didn't get injured, he's averaging 5. He just played this team and got 5 assists. Getting plus odds on this is just absolutely silly.
Yeah, as a rookie, he averaged 3.5, and we know how strong he came on at the end of the year to steal that Rookie of the Year award from my guy Evan Mobley, who I heard you got a top shot on, Grant. Evan Mobley.
I just tried to sell it.
Make it. I might be your buyer, except I don't dabble with fake collectibles. No offense.
Yeah, as you shouldn't.
If there was one NFT I was going to buy from a young player in the NBA, it probably would be Evan Mobley.
Yeah. No, I've got a lot of I got a ton of Desmond Bain rookie cards or rookie.
Yeah, well, that looks like a good investment at this point, especially with
not
Memphis.
where I bought him at, and they just flooded the market with cards moments from him. So that's the thing when they control it,
right?
Like that NBA Top Shot is not been good.
Yeah. Well, anyhow, back to Barnes. He averaged 3.5 as a rookie, and I can check the splits real quick, but I am pretty sure that really accelerated towards the end of the year when he was playing it really, really well. They don't have his averages, but yeah, he was. I like that over as well, especially with plus money. I mean, he's averaging 4.3 already this year, and they're just moving the ball in Toronto, playing great basketball.
Yeah. I have a few more in this Washington game. I got a lot of them. Denny Avdija, I can never pronounce his name. Denny, under 17.5 points, rebounds, assists, under 9.5 points. Almost took the under on his assists, I think, and rebounds. Beal over 32.5 points is minus 121. Caesars minus 120 over MGM. Most spots it's sitting at 34.5. So go hit that immediately. Mm-hmm. It's going to move. It's going to move really quickly if it hasn't already. But one that we're both on, Tyrese Halliburton over 31.5 points.
One look at his game. I mean, anyone who knows anything about Tyrese and how he played last year, I mean, he was a 20-10 guy towards the end of the year, just points and assists. One look at his game log this year, I don't think he's been under this number in any game. He's averaging 22.5, 4.2 with that 10 assists. That's 36.7. So I'm going to roll with Tyrese. I think this guy is a serious chance at winning most improved player. And, it looks like he's going to be one of these young stars now in his third year to become an all-star and be the leader of the franchise for Indiana.
Stupidest trade I've ever seen. Well, outside of the West.
For Sabonis, right? Yep.
Yeah, that was the stupidest trade I've ever seen in my life. Even when it happened, everyone's like, why would they do this? And since then, it's very clearly like this was one of the worst trades in. Like, even if the ages were reversed and the contracts were reversed between Sabonis and Halliburton, it's still one of the stupidest trades in NBA history. Like, Halliburton is a certified stud.
Yeah. Well, that's what Sacramento does. They make terrible franchise moves.
I could be a better GM than their GM. It's like You know how some people say that and it's just really stupid to say that? Like, no, this guy's clearly well. Some people are just awful. And I'm not saying I'd be a better coach than certain coaches. GM, like, just not doing that move would have made them so much better. It's ridiculous. But I also have Monty Morris under 3.5 rebounds. He just isn't going to get there. It's too high of a line. I think we have projected like 2.8. Giannis under 12.5 boards, minus 102 at Superbook, minus 105 over at DK. Giannis, well, he's just great on the boards, and he's a great player overall. It's going to be a slow-paced game going up against the Knicks. Knicks have a lot of size, and Randall and Robinson out there, and Barrett, like a lot of guys that can do a lot on the boards. Plus, this always has a chance of a blowout. Getting this at near even money, 12.5 is one that I generally take. Let's see. We've got some Timberwolf bets on Anthony Edwards, over 32.5 points, rebounds, assists, minus 113 over Caesars. Over 5.5 boards, plus 105 over at Sports Illustrated.
Yeah, I'm going to take that Edwards boards even a step further, Grant. And, he's really – I've been shocked because they have obviously Karl Anthony Towns and Gobert up front. And Anthony Edwards has had 2 double-doubles this year already. His double-double line at Barstool Day was 11.5 to 1. So, I might put a little bit on it, but the over 5.5 I think is a great bet. Even though historically he doesn't really board that much, he's had a couple double doubles and I think an 8 on the rebounds. So yeah, I really like that one.
Yeah, you sent me a decent amount of double bets. We'll get to them
sure
once we get through a few more basketball bets. But one that you have that we are in disagreement on is Markkanen double plus 350 over at DraftKings. I currently have the under on rebounds 7.5 minus 136, but.
I noticed that.
Why you're on that.
So, Markkanen, he used to be, believe it or not, if I can bring up his career stats, he was his rebound average was like going down every year. He was averaging his rookie year, he averaged 7.5, then 9. So he averaged 9 a couple of years ago, then 6.3, 5.3, 5.7. He's up to 8.8 this year. I know it's only been a couple games. He's another guy I'm looking at most improved. So he's at 8.8 on the year. The line is 7.5. I'm not going to over analyze, the 5 games he's played, but he does have 2 double-doubles so far. In his last game, he got 9. So while I'm not going to mess with, say, the over on 7.5 on the prop, I'm going to take a flyer on a plus 350 odds on him to get another double-double.
Well, that's kind of what I feel like. It's either like you go with the alt lines. You take the under on rebounds and the alt over on rebounds. And that's just kind of how it goes. I mean, the main thing is he's playing a huge amount of minutes. So
yeah,
I just feel like 7.5 is probably where the line should be. I think that it should be minus 160 juice on the under. So I took it minus 136. But yeah, anytime you're going against me, it's always interesting. Like, did I fudge up there?
This one could be, this one is, so you got under 7.5 and I got over 10. So like you said, like I saw value in the over 10 and we'll see, you adjust and we'll see what happens in this one. But yeah, Markkanen's been playing well. He played well all summer in the international league. So he's a guy I have targeted for some overs this year.
Yeah. One bet that I have hit every single game so far this season, I think, Josh Hart under 15.5 points, minus 111 at Caesars. Do you know how many times he's hit the over?
Oh, he's averaging like 11 points this year.
Yeah, he had 19 in the first one. He went 8 for 11 from the field. Right. He hit the over in that one, and he has not hit it since. 10, 9, 6, 10. They have Simons. They have Lillard, which I think is Lillard questionable. I can't remember if that was today or yesterday. It's so tough to keep track of things nowadays.
Yeah, no, Lillard's going to be out, and that's why the number's up. But and I was looking at Hart's. I think it was his rebounding prop even today. I was surprised that it was like 7.5, and he's a shooting guard, small forward, and he's averaging 9.5 boards this year, which shocked me. So I don't really know.
That doesn't shock me at all. He's been a beast on the board since he was in LA.
Yeah, I mean, even in New Orleans at 8 rebounds a game. So I stayed away from that on. I almost took it blindly, but yeah, his scoring is 10.8 this year. I can roll with the under on that because I have Anthony Simons over tonight. And we know what he does when Dame is out. I mean, he just goes off. So I think you had his PAR over maybe, or I don't know.
I had his assists under. He's not going to dish the ball out too much.
Yeah,
Has not hit the over once.
He's going to be shooting threes, and I like his over 23.5. Last year with, starting in January, he averaged about 24 points a game the rest of the year. And now he's a year older and Dame's out. So it's time for him to step up again. I like his over points tonight. And I think I would also, play the under assist that you've got.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I think I was going to hit Simon's over, but yeah, it was on all the sites that, like, the line where you want to hit it at is MGM minus 105 and DraftKings minus 120, and neither of them are going to let me get any money down. Or PointsBet. Yeah, pretty much every site where I am.
You can't bet at those. Yep.
Yeah, limited to oblivion. Like, there's limits where, like, Superbook will let me get $100 down. There's limits like football and DraftKings will let me get $150 down.
Right.
And then there's sites like Bet365 where they'll let me get $5 down. Like,
right. Same. Yep.
There's limits and there's super limits. If I can get $100+ down, it's worth my time to throw it on there. If I can't get $100 down, it's like $4 projected ROI. It's just not worth my time to do that.
You're not even opening those apps. I mean,
yeah, just to get limited, knowing I'll get limited even more into oblivion there. It's just not worth it.
Those just come off the ad screens for me.
Yeah. Also have Jeremy Grant under 2.5 assists. He's not going to pass the ball. He said they over once, and Grant, that was without Lillard, but it's not a good line. Jalen Green under 4.5 boards, pretty heavy juice, minus 163, but Offshore has it like minus 205.
Jalen Green, what was it? The boards? Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's talk about some of the rest of your bets.
Yeah. So, I'm taking like what we call it is like in finance, like a basket of stocks to build an ETF. I'm taking like a basket of double-doubles. So they're all going to be plus money. They're all gonna, they're not all gonna hit, and I don't think any are locks. I had Embiid at minus 169, which is as close to a lock as there is, but he might not even play. So, Clint Capella historically is averages a double-double. His minutes have been down, his numbers have been down, but I still like to take him at plus 270 for a double-double. I like him anything over 2-1. You can look up the stats. I don't have them all here. I'll bring it up here. What he's doing.
Yeah, he's hit it 1 out of 4 times so far this season.
But... yeah. So, his career averages over almost 500 games are 12.4 and 10.6. So he can do it on any night. It's just a matter of if he's playing the minutes. So I like that. Cade Cunningham, he can get you a double-double with assists. He can do it with rebounds. He's obviously going to be handling the ball a lot and playing. Plus 320 I like over at PointsBet. Jason Tatum, this might be my favorite one. He is a great defensive rebounder. I hit this so many times last year when it was anything over about plus 220. So with Tatum, I mean, yeah, he's already averaging 8.3 this year. That's plus 340. That is one I'm definitely going to hit. He's had 8 rebounds the last 2 games. When you're getting 8 rebounds and your double-doubles plus 340, we know he's going to be playing a lot. So that can happen any night. And Evan Mobley, we talked about him. He's been very slow on the boards this year, but he's 7 feet tall. He's a great rebounder. He hasn't shown it this year. Any day now, he's going to start racking up those rebounds. I mean, he averaged 8.1 as a rookie. He's averaging 4.8 this year. That is not reflective of Evan Mobley and how he rebounds. So I think you're getting kind of a gift with these plus 330s on Evan Mobley. I think that'll be down closer to plus 160 this year, maybe even less. I'm going to take that anytime it's over plus, let's say 260, 270. Julius Randle, another guy, like almost like a career double-double, this guy. Every other game, yeah, he averages 9.3 for his career, 8.8 this year, and you're getting over 2-1 on the double-double. Last year, he was probably did it in about half his games. The year before, about half his games. So this prop usually is around minus 110 to plus 120. It's plus 205 at DraftKings tonight. I think there's a lot of value there. We mentioned Anthony Edwards. He's been rebounding like a beast this year, even with those 2 tall timber up front at 11.5 to 1. You may as well put some pizza money on that. And then Lauri Markkanen, we mentioned. He's 7 feet tall. He's had a couple double doubles this year or close to. He's averaged 9 rebounds in his career at plus 350 playing these minutes. I'm going to take another flyer on him. Put all those guys together. I think that's 8 double doubles. Take out Embiid, that's 7. You just got to hit 2 to break even. Hopefully we can catch 4 or 5 and really have a positive night. And if we don't hit any, and it's on to the next game and we do it again, you don't have to put a lot of money down on any of these.
Yeah. And then I've got some football bets that we've taken a while, so I'm just going to kind of race through them. Sutton over 55.5 receiving yards, minus 115 at DK. Wilson over 220.5 passing yards, minus 115 DK. Wilson likes to throw the ball to Sutton, and 220.5 is just 15 yards too low for Wilson. Pitts over 34.5 receiving yards, another one where people just assume that he's trash now, but this is such a low number. Tyreek Hill over 86.5 receiving yards, minus 115 at DK and Superbook. He's getting huge amounts of volume, just massive amounts of volume. He's going to easily hit this. Zach Wilson under 12.5 rushing yards. This is going to be a game where they rush the ball heavily with now Robinson and Michael Carter. And I don't think Wilson does too much on the ground. I think Patriots will try and limit that and force him to throw the ball. Devontae Parker under 2.5 receptions, minus 115 at TK. Freiermuth over 3.5 receptions, minus 166 at Caesars. Pickett under 14.5 rushing yards, minus 108 at Superbook. Henry over 98.5 rushing yards. He's going off this week, minus 112. Eskridge under 20.5 receiving yards. They put the number up too much. It's going to be Godwin, and Lockett mostly in this offense, and Fant, who I have over 2.5 receptions, minus 135 DK, and Rodgers under 239.5 passing yards. He's going to get crushed by the Bills, absolutely destroyed.
It's crazy when you look at the Seahawks receiver props because there's like 4 or 5 receivers that they put up props for, which is unbelievable this year. I do like some of those. Henry, I love the over 98.5. I'm going to take that one. And Wilson, I definitely am taking that over. I mean, look, I hate, everyone wants to hate Russell Wilson for good reason, but I have to think that at some point he hits some receivers and they open up the offense or something. At some point, I think it's got to happen. And if it doesn't, I think they need a refund on $250 million. So Russell Wilson, I've gone with his whole career, and it's cost me a lot of money this year, but I'm going to go one more time back to the well.
Yeah, it's already moved to 228. So
oh, geez. Yeah.
I'd still kind of like the over at that number, but 220
what did I get it at?
Lock.
Yeah, I got it at 217.5. Oh, boy.
Nice.
Yeah, that was over at Barstool. So I don't know if you're bringing up if they show Barstool, but maybe check that out.
Yeah, they don't, but also Barstool, Bet Rivers, same exact system.
Yeah.
They both.
Yeah, I have a little workaround at Barstool right now to get some money down. So I was able to snag that one for a little bit.
Yeah, I had a little workaround too of my buddy was a massive loser on there. And so I said, I'll give you picks, double the amount you were going to bet, and I'll buy half of it off you.
Flip the whales.
Yep. And then he's now gone. He got limited super quickly. He was like, this is great. I can get status. They'll give me a bunch more free stuff. And then they're like, nope, we're not letting you bet anything anymore. Even though you lost a ton of money, you've won too much recently.
Yep. Oh man. Well, such is life here.
Yeah, no, my life is all about finding whales to buy bets off of. So it is what it is. But this is our industry. And well, I'll keep hammering stuff out. And luckily I go down to Arizona a few times a year, so I still got all the sports books down there. But yeah, Zach, any futures before we get on out of here?
Like the rookie of the year is tightening up already. Banchero looks unbelievable. I know you're on his over 23.5 today. I saw that
on his under.
Well, right. I saw that you put the under accidentally. I almost kind of want to take his under at some point because 23.5 for a rookie out of the gates. I mean, let me just see what he's averaging.
I mean, he's averaging more.
He's averaging 24. So it's like, I can't even take
the main thing is any other matchup I might have taken this, but it's against Charlotte. So,
right. So, rookie of the year, look, he's probably going to win it. I love Keegan Murray. I think Sacramento actually did something right there. And Benedict Mathurin in Indiana, if they trade Buddy Hield, he's going to get a lot of play next to Halliburton. So those are the three I'd look out for. MVP, I like Jason Tatum's odds right now, still around 10, 12 to 1. Giannis is going to be there at the end. Watch Embiid kind of fall back like he did last year. I grabbed him at 40 to 1 last year, and it didn't cash, but it definitely allowed me to play around with some other guys. So, don't go crazy over Luka right now, even though he's having monsters and probably has the best stats of anyone. Let some of these other guys fall and don't go crazy in October, I think is the best advice I'd say for the MVP.
I like it. All right. Again, thanks, Zach. You can follow him over on Twitter at Zachonomics. Always giving out good stuff. Thanks for joining me. He'll probably be back on again next Friday. Hopefully we'll keep this going forward as long as one of us isn't too busy. But thanks, Zach. We're out of here.